in every election, and I actually grew up in the town where the Clintons now live. So I was pretty bummed when my neighbor lost the election, but I was even more bummed and terrified by what I was finding at Facebook.
That says a lot, and I'm thank you for saying your political orientation. I think it gives your position credibility and gives your book credibility.
Thank you.
I hope it's read by a ton of people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Most shows don't want to talk about UFO sightings. They don't want to seem crazy or be laughed at. We don't care. And so we do. News and outer space are inherently interesting topics. We're going to keep reporting them. Remember the Space Force? President Trump announced it to great fanfare in 2017. A fifth branch of the military. Some laughed. Is it real? What exactly is Space Force? Will it happen? We figured we'd find out. Rebecca Grant would know. She's a national security analyst, and she joins us to explain. Rebecca, thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Just give us the condensed explanation of what Space Force is.
Space Force is real already. There are over 30,000 Americans in Air Force Space Command, and President Trump signed a directive telling the Pentagon to get ready to make a Space Force within the Department of the Air Force. And the reason we need it? There are 1,800 satellites in space, 250 belong to China, and America needs to keep its dominant position in space.
So basically, the point of Space Force is to counter Chinese hegemony in the sky.
China, Russia, even Iran and North Korea have space capabilities, but China's the one we're really worried about. Just last week, the Defense Intelligence Agency told us that China could deploy a laser weapon from the ground to hit satellites as early as next year. So that's just one of the many things that has made space a warfighting domain. And so we want the Air Force to prepare its space professionals and space operators to keep American dominance and work with our joint forces and our allies.
So funny, we spent so many years worrying about John Podesta's email account that there hasn't been a lot of room in our public conversation for this threat that you just explained, but it sounds like the Pentagon is worried about it.
The Pentagon is very worried about it, and for very good reason. We've also seen money added into the defense budget to buy space capabilities. And watch for a lot of debate on this on the Hill, because the Pentagon will put together its proposal. Then it goes up to the House and the Senate to authorize and to appropriate the money for the Space Force. Now, Dr. Heather Wilson is in charge of the Air Force, and she is the one who will have to sell this proposal through Congress. And I think it's got a good chance of making it through.
Well, I'll just say I, for one, would be proud if one of my children joined Space Force.
And you should be.
Thank you very much. Rebecca,
Thanks
for the explanation. I've never heard that so crisply explained.